The original Naked Gun movies from Zucker were delightfully silly in all the best ways, with the inspired use of sight gags and wordplay. They were also elevated by Leslie Nielsen playing the role of Lieutenant Frank Drebin, mostly deadpan. In making a sequel several years later, also titled The Naked Gun, director Kiefer Schaffer had the tricky task of capturing the same style of sippy comedy while still making it his own. Thankfully, he succeeds, and he and the writers embrace the silliness of this world, even as it's filmed like a modern crime movie. While it's not quite as ferocious with the jokes as the original trilogy, there's still plenty of giggles throughout. Chief among the reasons this new iteration works is Liam Neeson, who nicely follows in Leslie Nielsen's footsteps. Playing Drebin's son with the same intensity he brings to his more serious action roles, Neeson completely understood what was required of him and does not let in that he's in on the joke. Taking these absurd phrases and saying them with a straight face is part of the gag, and he also shares plenty of humorous moments with Paul Walter Hauser and Pamela Anderson. The movie sends up his usual action roles in a clever way, mixing his fighting and shooting with all sorts of ridiculous visual gags. Compared to the original films, there are a few more gaps where it's not telling any jokes. However, it's thankfully not too much of a way until the filmmaker throws a comedy bit or two. The style of wordplay associated with the Zucker comedies is very much present here. Then there are some of the background jokes and self-aware humor that play around with the world presented in this Naked Gun sequel. The movie avoids getting too predictable as it's uncertain what type of joke is going to be thrown at us next. There's a decent variety to the types of jokes here too. The movie only makes minimal use of pop culture references, and when they do come up, they fit the characters and the context of the scene. Same goes for celebrity cameos. What initially seems like a "hey, it's that famous person" joke eventually reveals more layers. The storyline involving stopping a villain's dastardly plan is the least interesting aspect of the movie, but nobody is going to a Naked Gun movie for the plot. We're here to see how many silly but still smart jokes land, and many do provide the needed wit, although even some of the more stupid jokes work. Watching The Naked Gun, it's just fun seeing this type of comedy again, and that the jokes are genuinely funny helps too. The filmmakers try all sorts of jokes here, from the absurd to the more subtle, as well as ones that require you to look at the background, and many of them do work. The contrast between the jokes and the more serious cop movies surround them also help add to the gags. It's a sequel that brings The Naked Gun to the current era of filmmaking, while still understanding the appeal of the earlier movies and why they remain so funny. At one point, Frank Drebin Jr. comments about wanting to honor what came before while still bringing something new to the table, and this movie successfully strikes that balance.